Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Ron's Keto Cafe, and I'm Ron. If you're new, welcome, and if you're a returning member, welcome back. I don't know about you guys, but when you're doing low carb weight loss like I have over the last couple of years or so, and dropping more than 130 pounds now, I tend to go off plan once in a while, and I miss certain foods like cheesecake. And I'm going to insert a photograph in the timeline, but when I believe I was 46, my sister asked me, what do you want for your birthday? And I told her I wanted a strawberry cheesecake. So she went up to BJ's and she bought me this huge, humongous strawberry cheesecake that said 46 on it. And I was like only one or two that only ate it, and of course she had a regular cake for everybody else. But at that particular time, I was losing weight and I felt pretty good. And then of course after that, it was all over with the weight loss back then. And that was like at least 10 years ago. So anyways, this recipe comes to you from Myra from Carb Love, and I'm going to read off the ingredients that we're going to be using and the amounts. And for this particular recipe, we'll need 1.5 cups of almond flour, and we're using the Blanche fine almond flour from Great Value from our friends at Walmart. A half a tablespoon of sweetener, and we're using confectionate powdered swerve. A fourth of a teaspoon of cinnamon. 4 tablespoons of either melted butter or avocado oil, or any oil of your choice. And we're using avocado oil today because I'm too lazy to melt the butter. And that we're going to do at this point, we're going to mix everything together with a spatula. And if it's too wet, we can add a little more almond flour to it, about a tablespoon at a time, to get it to like a crumbly mixture. And then we have this 6-inch spring pan that we're going to be using. And then what I'm going to do, I'll do is I'll put the bottom mixture on top of here, pat it all down until it form like a outer crust around the edge of the pan, and bake that in the oven for 6 to 8 minutes for 350. And then I'll pop that out. We'll let that cool, and then we'll make the batter mixture for the fillings. We're going to be using the Philadelphia cream cheese brand. Everybody's familiar with the brand. It doesn't have to be that brand. It could be a store-bought brand or any other brand that you feel comfortable with. We're going to put 1/4 of a cup of sour cream in. We have the sour cream out. And, oh, by the way, the cream cheese is softened. It's been softened for a while now. And then we're going to put 1/2 cup of sweetener, powdered sugar in it. Again, the swerve. And it could be erythritol or any other kind of sweetener that you want to put in, but it should be powdered, because she said if you use a granular swerve, it'll taste like granularly when you eat it. We're going to put 2 eggs. My eggs have been sitting out at room temperature. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and we're going to use 1 tablespoon of a fresh lemon, which we have the lemon over here. We'll cut it and squeeze out about a tablespoon. And we're going to add a pinch of salt. And a pinch of salt, we already have that in powdered swerve. Now I got everything all pre-weighed. So at this point, we're going to make the crust filling, and then I'm going to rinse the bowl, and I'll put the cream cheese in a bowl and the other stuff in a bowl, and we'll mix it with the hand mixer. So at that point, when the pie crust is done, we'll take the mixture and put it in the spring form pan that we're going to be using right here. You got the spring here. And we'll pop that into the oven for 40 minutes, and we'll let it come out of the oven, and we'll put that, after I can touch it with my hands, we'll put that in the refrigerator overnight. Tomorrow we'll put a nice strawberry mixture over the top. Yeah, so and they're going to be using frozen strawberries, not fresh, and she had used the strawberry jam. So what we're going to do with our particular strawberries, tomorrow we'll throw them out, we'll puree them, and we'll use that, and we'll just kind of like drizzle it all over the top of the cheesecake, and hopefully when we take the ring off of this particular pan, everything will stay intact, and we'll slice it up into 4 slices and have a taste test tomorrow afternoon. And let me know what you guys think about that. And if you haven't got one of these, I got this on Amazon, but you can get these at Walmart or just about anywhere. I got these this for under $10. Without further ado, let's just go right into the recipe. So today we're making a strawberry cheesecake for low carb weight loss. And what we got going on in our bowl, we got 1.5 cups of almond flour. We got 1/2 cup of sweetener, and we got 1/4 of a teaspoon of cinnamon. So now we're just going to take that and we're going to get it going with a spatula. What I'm just trying to do is get out as many lumps that might be in here. I'm gonna move my placemat over there. And if you find it might be too dry, you can add a little more oil to it. And if you find it to be too wet, you can add some more almond flour to it, or butter if you're using butter instead of the oil. Well, I'm using oil today because I didn't feel like melting any butter. There, I think that's good. And now let's add oil. Again, when you use butter or oil, this is 4 tablespoons. This is the avocado oil. Okay, so this is what we're looking for. It looks like some type of a graham crust, see? Because we want to be able to squeeze it down, to pat it down, and form a crust in the bottom of the pan. So what I did, guys, is I cut a new piece, and then I sprayed it, and I used that kind of like to hold that in place. Now we're going to make a crust. Hi guys, so crust is done. As you can see, I formed a little bit of a lip around it, the pan, and I was pressing it down on it to form a crust. Now we're going to go bake that up in the oven at 350 degrees for about 8 minutes, 6 to 8 minutes. And we're gonna go ahead and make the cheesecake mixture that'll go on top of it. So without further ado, let's go get this in the oven. Pan just came out of the oven. I left it on for another minute and a half because I felt that wasn't quite done yet. And I'm happy with it. So we're gonna set that aside. So at this point, we got 2 blocks of cream cheese, 16 ounces, already softened. And then we're gonna add our 1/4 of a cup of sour cream right into it. I have a little more left in the container, so just to use it up, I'm just gonna put it right in on top of this. You can see my cream cheese is all nice and soft. Okay. Now we're gonna add, it doesn't make any difference what order you put this in. I have the powdered confectioner's swirl, but it's not granulated, so it's powdered. But it could be any allulite that you want. And I got a pinch of salt in there that just goes right on top. Just digging it all out and make sure I get it all. 2 eggs at room temperature, go right on top. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Take that. I'm gonna use a little bit of lemon. I always run my hand like that to try to get the juice flowing out of there. 1 tablespoon of a freshly squeezed lemon. And what we're gonna do is just eyeball it right over the thing until we get what we want. Okay, so now that we have that all there, let's just Okay, so before we spray that, she said you can, we're going to take a, before we actually spray that, we're going to take some foil, and we're going to do this. I'll show you what we're going to do. We're going to actually take 2 pieces of foil. We're going to crisscross them, and then we're just going to make like a little crust around it. She said the reason why you do this, because as you're baking your crust with your filling, what you don't want is you don't want to burn your crust, because this is going to bake for 40 minutes and that'll prevent it from burning. So that's a little trick I learned from Myra. Just like this, see? Let's see, I don't want to tip it upside down, lose my batter. So now let's take that, dump that into there. And that'll go in a 350 oven, which is already preheated, and we'll bake it off for 40 minutes. And then we'll let it cool down, and we'll put it in the refrigerator overnight, and then we'll add our strawberries on top of it tomorrow, and we'll have a taste test and see what it tastes like. Okay, so there you have it, our cheesecake. So let's go bake that in the oven at 350 degrees for 40 minutes. We'll pop that out, and we'll snapshot a photograph or 2 of that. Let that cool down a little bit, and then we'll put it in the refrigerator overnight. And tomorrow we'll put the strawberries over that, the puree, and we'll sample it together, and hopefully it'll come out of the pan okay without breaking apart. But let me know what you guys think, and if you like the video, or if you ever made this before and how it came out. And I guess my question of the day would be for this particular video, because you guys know me as Ron from Loving Keto, Ron's Weight Loss Journey, you know, now the new name, Ron's Keto Cafe. Does your husband bake for you? And what was the best thing he ever made for you that you didn't expect? And that'll give you something to think about. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, Ron's Keto Cafe, and I'm Ron. Well, today we got ambitious. Actually, yesterday was Sunday, and today is Monday the 30th January, and we wanted to make a strawberry cheesecake. Now, I absolutely love strawberry cheesecake, but when you're trying to lose weight, that's a no-no, and it does pack a ton of calories. So I'm going to get my notes. I made this particular recipe, but I want to make it for quite a while, and I've been researching a lot of YouTubers, and I came across a great YouTube link from Low-Carb Love. And this particular recipe, I followed it exactly to the T, and I even had a fresh lemon that I gotten. And so what we did with this particular recipe for the crust, we took a 1.5 cups of almond flour, and it was the Blanche very fine almond flour from our friends at Walmart. 1/2 tablespoon of sweetener, powdered syrup, 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. We stirred it all together. So once we got the powdered stuff all mixed up, we added 4 tablespoons of oil. Now she said you could add melted butter, it didn't matter, whatever you feel comfortable with. And then what I did at that point, I took the spatula and I kept working it till it got like a graham cracker type texture, like a crumbly texture, and then I added just a tiny bit little more of olive oil because I felt like it was too dry. And then what I did was at that point I got my 6-inch spring pan, took a piece of parchment paper, cut it round to fit to the size, sprayed it with cooking oil around the edge on the inside, and I formed my crust, and I made like a lip all the way around the inside of the pie crust for the pie crust, for kind of like the authentic cheesecake look. Baked that baby in the oven for 350 preheated oven for 6 to 8 minutes. I took my outlet that it rest, and then I made my ingredients for the filling. I took 2 blocks of Philadelphia cream cheese. It could be any cream cheese of your choice. And I softened. I did leave it softened on the counter. And then I took 1/4 of a cup of sour cream. That was the store-bought brand. And then I used 1/2 cup of powdered sweetener. And she said on that particular sweetener, don't use the granular because it'll taste granularly. And then I took 2 eggs at room temperature, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1 tablespoon of a fresh lemon juice. I cut that in half and I squeezed it out, and a pinch of salt. And then I took my my handheld mixer and I got it going really, really well until there was nice creamy smooth texture. Then I poured it into the my pan, and then I spread it out with the spoon, got it all nice and even, and then I popped that into the oven at 350. And then I put some foil around the bottom of the pan before I popped it into the oven so that it wouldn't burn my my crust for my graham cracker crust, which is really almond flour. And because traditionally you'd be using a graham cracker crust, and because we're still losing weight, and we want to eat much visually and healthy. So I just want to show you I'm talking about it, but I'm getting hungry. So what we did was we took some frozen strawberries. You can use fresh, but it's all frozen, and I softened them up and I pureed them, and I added a little bit of sweetener into that too, the powdered sugar, because those are unsweetened strawberries, and I got some strawberries for the top for garnish. And I don't know if this is gonna pop out of the cake pan okay. I don't know if it's gonna make a heck of a mess, but I put 2 pieces of aluminum foil underneath my pans because I don't want to make a mess all over the place, and I'm going to cut it, slice it, and I'm going to take photographs of it, talk about it, and we're actually going to have a taste of it. But I'm showing this under my main camera over here, but this is what I covered it with foil overnight, and take that off. So what happened over here, where you see that all caved in, I didn't realize it, but when I grabbed it like that, my finger kind of like hit the top of that, and it kind of like pushed it all in, and I was trying to smooth it all out with the with a spoon, and then I popped it into the refrigerator, and it'll be fine because I'll just cover that up, and I'm going to be eating it anyways. So why don't we, at this point, this particular camera, I'm going to flip it down on that side of the table so you can see from both different angles, and we'll see whether or not it comes out. But I'm going to take a knife, and I'm going to go with a knife all the way around to as far down to the pan as I can go, and pop that the spring off of that pan. Hopefully it'll stay intact. And I don't know if it's going to be an epic venture or an epic failure, but I won't know unless I try, and that's the fun part about cooking, is trying. I got a butter knife, so what I'm going to do is just go around the edge of like this. Maybe I should have put more cooking spray on this. I'm thinking it's really, really hard for me to push my knife all the way down to the bottom. I'm not going to be able to get a good photograph out of this, but it's okay because I'm still going to eat it anyways. The pan might have a little problem sticking to the bottom, I'm thinking. The next time I have to put a little more cooking oil on it. What I'm trying to do is just trying to break the crust off the side of the pan. I don't want to disintegrate my whole cake. That's the cheesecake. I had a bite of it. It's really, really good. So, like I said, I don't know. What do you guys think, huh? Is it going to break from the pan with no problem? I really don't know. Maybe I didn't even have to do that. Oh, wow. Look at that. So that's what they look like. This is what before. I'm sure I'll show you guys from that angle. What do you guys think, huh? Let me take a photograph of that. So that's what it looks like from this angle. You can see my crust and everything. It's set really well. I probably didn't even need to do that, but I wanted to make sure that I didn't have any problems. So at this point, I'm just going to pour a little bit of strawberries on top. This is kind of like a strawberry jam I made. I'm going to take the knife and just kind of like go over it. What do you guys think, huh? Cool, huh? Let's see how it cuts. Again, I have it on my cutting board, and the only reason why I got the foil there is because of the, you know, the messy pot. I don't want to make a mess. So you cut it this way, cut it right through. Careful not to cut myself. Look at that, guys, huh? Look at that. Isn't that cool? Okay, guys. So, here is the strawberry cheesecake that I made. I explained to you how I made that. Well, I suppose you want me to taste this, right? Look at that. This is the real deal, guys. I'm telling you. Nice fresh strawberry. Oh yeah. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And let me know if you ever made this before. But I'd just like to thank Myra from Low-Carb Love. Again, her recipe link will be below this video. Be watching for the next video I'll be posting, which will be corned beef and hash made of turnip instead of the potato for substitute. But love you guys.